So first I wanted to mention the green category or the green vegetable category, because I could say that we are a green vegetable dependent animal, that if you don't eat sufficient quantity of green vegetables, you can't have optimal health and longevity. Some people don't like green vegetables. I always say, if you don't like green vegetables, then live close to a hospital, because you're not going to have good health, because green vegetables support the growth of a healthy microbiome. The billions of bacteria that live in our gut are based on diversity of the bacterial species that make for a healthy gut. And the type of bacteria you grow are based on the foods that you eat, right? And the bacteria another person grows are different bacteria based on the foods that they regularly eat. And one of the best sources of raw material to grow healthy bacteria is the sulfoquinavose in lettuce, for example. Lettuce is a huge protective food. But the other things, besides raw lettuces and raw green vegetables, or raw cruciferous vegetables like arugula or baby bok choy or kale or radish or other besides those other watercress, besides lettuce and cruciferous vegetables, the combination of vegetables in our diet, the variety of different vegetables we eat, and how much vegetables we eat correlates best with longevity. The more vegetables we eat, the less cardiovascular death, and the less vegetables we eat, the less cancer deaths, of course. But I'm also saying here that there are certain powerful protective nutrients in raw vegetables that are formed in the mouth as you chew the vegetable. And the better you chew, the more you form those beneficial compounds, particularly the isothiocyanates in raw cruciferous vegetables, which we call ITCs. The abbreviation of isothiocyanates are ITCs. So I'm saying that ITCs are a critical compound in cruciferous vegetables that are not in the vegetable yet until you masticate or chew the vegetable and break open the cell walls. Because in a little packet in the cell wall of the vegetable is this enzyme called myrosinase, which forms the ITCs in your mouth. And as you chew it and mix it with saliva and the bacterial between in the teeth, you form more beneficial anti-inflammatory compounds and you produce more ITCs. Matter of fact, cruciferous vegetables are extremely protective against cancer, but some studies don't show they're as protective as other studies show. But when we look at urinary ITCs, that means how much ITCs actually got in the blood of the urine, we see an impeccable dose-dependent relationship between urinary ITCs and cancer protection. Let me explain for a minute, okay? Because look, if I'm saying the ITCs are formed in the mouth based on when you're chewing the vegetable, they're forming in the mouth. You're churning the glucosinolate in the cruciferous cell with the enzyme, and the wall is producing a chemical reaction in your mouth as you chew, and the better you chew, the more of those beneficial compounds you form. So you could eat broccoli and you could eat kale, but if you're either overcooking it and destroying the activity of the ITCs, or you're not chewing it well, then you still could be eating cruciferous vegetables and not getting the full benefit of cancer protection. So we have to eat some of them raw, or at least conservatively cooked, so like cooking it in a wok and not overcooking it, let's say. And so we're eating vegetables that are not overcooked, or we're eating them raw, and we're mindful and cognizant enough to chew them very well, because the better we chew, the more ITCs that are formed in the body, in the blood, and gets into the urine. And that's where we see the dose-dependent relationship. So it's not what you eat that determines your health necessarily. It's how well you chew what you eat that determines your health. So we're just defining that a little further, tweaking it, that little health hack to really focus when you're eating a salad. How well you're chewing that salad? You're going to try to resist swallowing and masticate it enough so you can form it into a liquid. I'm going to add those sprouts on my salad, right? You guys know that, maybe you've heard that broccoli sprouts, radish sprouts, alfalfa, all these sprouts could have 40 to 50 times as much of the ITCs in the broccoli sprouts compared to a piece of broccoli. But are you going to waste those beneficial anti-cancer compounds that when they rise in your system, they have more anti-cancer effects? Are you going to waste them by hardly chewing it? Or are you going to get the maximum benefit of what you put in your mouth by fully liquefying it before you allow it to be swallowed? So making that point, And I'm pointing out in this slide that over 300 studies show that raw vegetables have the most consistent and powerful association, the reduction of cancers of all types. Can you memorize those words? I tell people can you memorize that? It's not hard to memorize. Here's what I want you to memorize. Raw vegetables have the most consistent and powerful association with the reduction of cancers of all types. You can memorize that, right? It's not too hard to say. Raw vegetables have the most consistent and powerful association with the reduction of cancers of all types. So, and chew them real well and don't waste the fact that you're looking to live a long time. There's no anti-aging or longevity promoting substance that's more powerful than eating a big salad every day that you chew very well. So the ITCs, which we're talking about here from cruciferous vegetables, have been shown in studies to have marked effects on enabling the cells to remove carcinogenic material and toxins. So our best protection against chemical exposure in our environment is to eat a lot of cruciferous vegetables, right? They prevent carcinogens from binding to the DNA, they detoxify carcinogens, and they enable the body to remove dangerous and toxic substances from the body. They also, of course, are angiogenesis inhibitors, which that means that the word angiogenesis means the growth of blood vessels to fuel the growth of fat. And when we have high levels of insulin in response to eating a lot of sugar in our diet or being overweight, because when you're overweight, you're more insulin resistant. And when you eat a high glycemic food, when you're overweight, you produce a higher insulin response because you need more insulin to get the sugar out of the blood when you're overweight. And the high level of insulin, which is the primary fat storage hormone, promotes the growth of blood vessels to fuel the fat to allow it to grow. And in doing so, it permissively allows cancer cells to replicate. So one of the ingredients in the witch's cauldron of cancer causation is you want to have a lot of insulin circulating and a lot of insulin resistance if you want to create cancer in a person's body. You know, who wants to create cancer? We want to have insulin sensitivity, not insulin resistance. But the point here is that these ITCs from green vegetables are anti-angiogenic. They don't let tumor cells replicate. They don't let fat cells grow. And they actually improve immune function to recognize cancer cells or abnormal cells and to activate the natural killer T cells to destroy an abnormal cell even before it can become cancerous. And of course, they help remove excess estrogen from the body. In other words, there's a huge amount of studies showing how ITCs work to prevent cancer. And we know that the viability and robust immune function circulates in the body. These cells circulate all over our body, and they harbor and live in the intraepithelial lymphocytes that line the digestive tract. So you could say that the defenders at the gates of the castle, when things first come into our body, bacteria, viruses, poisons, smoke, whatever things we're eating that we shouldn't be, that are not good for us, there's some contaminants in it. We have a defense system that looks at everything that comes into the body. And this is the immune system that lives right behind the villi in the small intestines. And what I'm saying is that these intraepithelial lymphocytes develop and are fed by the aryl hydrocarbon receptor that's activated by the ITCs in cruciferous vegetables and by bacteria in the gut that are fed by other green vegetable compounds, such as found in lettuce. That the combination of lettuce, raw greens, with raw cruciferous is how we maximize the immune function of our gut, right? And retain the viability and protective function of the gut. Matter of fact, we're talking here about preventing inflammation in the gut, protecting the integrity of the gut, and having diverse and healthy microbiome. And those foods that activate the healthiest type of bacteria are two raw foods. The raw green vegetables I'm talking about here, right? This combination of raw vegetables and raw onion or scallion. Onion or scallion, tremendously powerful, to the beneficial gut bacteria. And then two cooked foods that have tremendous beneficial effects on building a healthy biofilm in the gut. We're talking about cooked mushrooms and cooked beans or legumes. very powerful effects at protecting the microbiome. And I'm saying this robust and healthy microbiome that creates this healthy biofilm of the villi and the small intestines with the healthy immune system behind that barrier, right? That utilizes certain nutrients and prevents toxins from entering the digestive tract, the bloodstream. And it also slows the absorption of glucose in the bloodstream from anything you eat. So when you have a mango, how do you turn that moderate glycemic mango into a lower glycemic food or a low glycemic food? Well, you have a robust microbiome because you're eating mushrooms and onions and leafy green vegetables and, and beans. And that healthy microbiome slows the absorption of glucose, lowering what's the glycemic load of that meal, right? And lowering insulin resistance, making you more insulin sensitive. So the G-bombs make you more insulin sensitive because they all have anti-angiogenic effects. They're all anti-fat storage effects because they don't let fat grow and they don't promote insulin. They reduce the production of insulin, which is the fat storage hormone. We're keeping that as low as possible in the most favored range. So all these things work together where you can control your longevity and your health destiny by dialing up these foods and dialing down the foods that are more calorically rich, that don't have these beneficial effects, right? Your genes reflect what you eat more than they reflect what your genetics are. Your genetics are a small amount contribution to your overall health. Your genes, what you eat, the genes modify themselves and change themselves. And scientists when you eat a lot of green vegetables, scientists call it gene silencing because these same foods protect the abnormal portion of genes that could have been expressed. It shuts them off. It silences them. So you don't develop disease when you have the BRCA. We showed that the high consumption of green cruciferous vegetables turned off the BRCA1 and GSP1 gene that could increase the woman's risk of breast cancer, for example. So gene silencing is that our genes are reflective of what we're eating. And the second meal effect is the term that scientists use that shows that you have a lower glycemic response to anything you eat because you have a healthy biofilm from eating a wide diversity of different fibers. So here's a study on more than 100,000 Asians showing that as people ate more green vegetables, particularly in this study, more cruciferous vegetables, accordingly, they lived longer. And the healthiest long-lived people were people who ate the most cruciferous vegetables. And I think this is the only food I've seen that has so much of a non-threshold effect. No threshold means tomato sauce is good for you. When you eat a certain amount, you're getting full benefit. Mushrooms are good for you, but you already ate half a cup of mushrooms. An extra cup's not going to benefit you. You had your half a cup. You already had your half a cup of onions. You only eat 3 cups of raw onion. I had a half a cup of raw onion. That's going to give you a great benefit. But not with green vegetables. When people went from 1 cup to 2 cups to 3 cups to 4 cups, you still saw enhancement in lifespan potential. So we are a green vegetable animal. We're supposed to be eating a lot of green vegetables.